I strongly suggest that at least, if you can, every other week, bare minimum, once a month, get up to highway speeds, 80 or so, and then jump on the brakes. Hammer, make sure no one's behind you, hammer it, and get that rear caliper to move. We have rear calipers in North America, but we really don't need them. Welcome back. Today, brakes. We're almost at the finish line. It drives and everything, but I've been finding that this passenger front caliper seems to be dragging a little bit. Gonna change all of the brakes and grease up the sliders. I know you've seen this done before on this channel, but not on the Beetle. Here goes. See if I can make it interesting for you guys. So I was saying the pads were dragging. This one's completely finished. And this one still has a lot of meat on it. So you can see there. And then look at this one. They should be wearing evenly. Definitely not the case. Let's get those sliders out, inspect them, clean the space where the slider slides, grease that. Clean up the slider and change the rotor. Here's the slider. Clean that up a little bit, grease up the hole, put her back in. Then I'll do the second one. This is what I'm using. So when doing this, you've got to use a heat resistant, I think it's called, lubricant, just to make sure that the grease doesn't burn off. Same to the bottom one. That's all. Cleaning it off with the rag. And it looks to be pretty good, so there's no corrosion on there. That's a good sign. Now put this one aside. Take off the rotor. Now the nice thing is that, VW, the Europeans, I mean, it's bittersweet, right? It makes taking this off so much easier because you don't need to take the carrier off, which you wouldn't be able to do because it is part of the spindle. Oh no! Now the rotor. I don't know how much you can really see, but it's not doing its job. So out with the old, in with the new. Just measuring them up, making sure that we've got the right ones. That would appear correct. New, old. And as I flip them over, you'll be able to see it even better. So I'm putting on my wire wheel. I'm going to clean up the hub just to make sure that everything is seated nicely. or as they used to say, tickety-boo. And then the surface here. You just want to make sure that that mating surface is clean and good, ready to go. Now I forgot that the wife has an appointment, so I'm gonna put all these tools away, get dressed, and get out of here, so I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. I'm not sure where I left off. I'm going to start taking the pads out. So I used a company called Max Advanced Brakes. They did not sponsor this, but I've used them before on the Audi and I liked it, so let's use it on the Beetle. And the price is definitely right. Very competitive. Oh, they gave us extra boots for the sliders. Now, do I want to use the new ones? How hard is it to pop out the old ones? So it really wasn't that hard. I used the screwdriver from the inside, pushed it out because it didn't matter if I tore it or not. But it's pretty durable rubber because it didn't tear. Then I folded it in half, fold the short side in half like that, and then squeezed it and then shoved it in the hole, and it worked. One's done. I'm actually really surprised that they sent this in the kit. Thanks. All right, let's try the other one. This one doesn't want to come out. Okay, so that's the second one out. All I did was put a little bit of lube inside the hole here. Sorry you can't see a whole lot. Next time I'll get a chest mount or a head mount. Okay, got that one in. So the easiest way I found is to try to fold it in half and send it through the, I guess that would be the front, the side that you would pull the bolt on, and shove it inside. Then put the slider in and it unfolds the rubber and everything looks to be okay. Now on to pads. Just like that. Just gonna put a little bit of grease on the edges where the ears of the pads sit. Now, just so you know, the ear, this gave me a little bit of trouble. The ear sits on the outside. Sorry. The ear of the pad sits on the outside of the carrier. There you go. And then the bottom, the caliper sits on the outside with the pad on the inside. Sorry, I know you can't get a good... There you go. So this right here, that is the carrier, this is the caliper, and this is the ear of the pad. Now I'm on the driver's side. You can see, where are we? That spot right here, how it's rusted, that is the slider. That's not a good sign. And I can't really get a look at the bottom one. In any case, these pads don't look too bad. You can see, where are we? You can see a little bit of meat here and a little bit of meat over there. These pads are in much better shape than the other side. These sliders are not sliding though. It's seized in there. All right. I'm gonna grab a pair of pliers, some WD-40 I'll spray inside. Pretty rough. So that slider that I took out, I cleaned it up. I just put it on my wire wheel. It's not perfect by any means, but at least it's a bit smoother. So I'm going to use this. But in the future, next time, if it's giving trouble or if I do another brake job, when I do another brake job, I will change out the slider. Look how disgusting dirty that is. It's It's not supposed to be like that. Well, I'm glad this happened so we can show you what it's not supposed to look like, and on the other side, what it is supposed to look like. Now the brake job is done, finished. Time to put that wheel back on. Front is finished. Oh, look at this rotor. That is used. Actually, it's not used. What has happened is that rear caliper is not doing its job. So here in North America, I strongly suggest that at least, if you can every other week, at bare minimum, once a month, get up to highway speeds, well, 80 or so, and then jump on the brakes. Hammer, make sure no one's behind you, hammer it, and get that rear caliper to move. We have rear calipers in North America, but we really don't need them. Where they would need them is like the Autobahn, where your brakes need to be sharp because you're going at a great rate of speed. We don't have that here, at least in Canada that I know of. So every once in a while you need to jump on those brakes and make sure those calipers in the rear. Keep in mind, the front calipers do 70% of the braking. The rear only does 30. It doesn't really get a lot of use. And general rule of thumb is for every 2 times you do the front, you do the backs once. Generally speaking. Didn't have a spanner, so using a vice grip. Pads aren't too bad on this. Alright. So T25, I put the bit in and used the hammer on it and cracked it loose. That's the way I got it out, or I'm getting it out. Can I get lucky? Yes! Look at that rotor. Ugh. So I took the clips off that sit here that the pads ride on, and I'm just going to clean up the surfaces. So I put the grease on the pedestal, but I should be putting it on top there. Anyhow, that's how it sits. That centerpiece wedges in there, and then these areas just kind of step. So for the back, you need to spin the piston back in. You need a tool. You're not going to be able to see it very well. Yeah. Anyhow, got to spin it back in. So this is the tool. So you find the right distance as the piston. Put this on the tool, which is magnetic, and then you wind this part to open or close this, and then this wedges against the inside of the housing. This sits on the piston, and you just spin. Of course, easier said than done sometimes. See, the piston is back inside the housing. It was way out here somewhere. Now it's back in. Now I can put the pads in, put this back on, and Bob's your uncle. New pads. Open out of mid. I did tell them time.